Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'd just like to talk you through how I made a spooky Christmas card with this stamp set that I got off Amazon. I think I paid about £7.99 for it, and it's just for a bit of fun for people like myself who like Halloween and spooky stuff but also like Christmas. So this is the card that I made with it, and I just like to talk you through how I made it. It's really fun and different, a bit gory, so sorry if you don't like this sort of thing. What I did to start with is I used this embossing folder. I'm not going to do all of it exactly how I did it, I'll just talk you through it. So I did a similar technique to the blackout technique, but what I did was I used red. I used this colour here, which is a Crafter's Companion Rosy Apple, and I just opened the embossing folder, put the ink on, and then put the paper in, and then this is how it turned out. What I did next, because the other one, I've got a black one, but I also did one in opposite colours. So once I had the background, I just got some Memento black ink and I just gently rubbed it down just to add a bit of an effect onto the spider web. It doesn't have to be exact, it's just an effect. And then I've cut it out as a matten layer like on this card, and then I've stamped my images out here. I did not use a stamping platform. If you want a more sharper image, then I would advise using a stamping platform, but I couldn't be bothered searching through everything I had, so I just grabbed an acrylic block. So I just got whatever the first impression was, and then I've used my pro markers, and this one is called Sunset. Looks like a sunset. And this one, Fire brick. Yeah, fire brick. Yeah, excuse me. A bit dopey today because it is early in the morning. So what I did first was I used the bright red. Doesn't have to be perfect colouring. I'm not a brilliant colourer, but these help. These pro markers, I've never really taken to any other brand. I just always go back to my pro markers. I'm not very good with change, and these just have always been the ones, they're my go-to. So I just coloured it in quickly, and then I just used the darker one just to add a slight bit of highlight. Obviously I'm sure some of you are way better with your alcohol markers than I am, but it was just to add like a little bit of something else like that. And then I just went over it again with this. It doesn't matter if you got out the lines because you fussy cut it out anyway. It doesn't come with dies, so I had to fussy cut it out. And that's what I did with that part. And then for the eyes, I got a black jelly roll pen, and I just went over them to brighten them up a bit because it wasn't a really dark stamp. But like I say, if you use your stamping platform, you'll be able to make it darker. Not as easy with an acrylic block. So I just went over it like that. And then for the Merry Christmas bit, I just got the same red ink, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't matter if it's blotchy, because it gives it like a horror-y sort of effect, as you can see, as if someone's touched it with fingerprints. And then I just literally went over it like that. Doesn't have to be perfectly blended or anything, that's the fun thing about spooky Halloweeny type cards, doesn't have to be perfect. And then I used my good old Stickles, the one that I love the most. I've just got to try and find the one that's not run out. I have 2 on the go and I'm trying to get all the little bits out of one of them. I think this is the one that it's not quite run out. So I just went over the bits that would be fleecy on the Santa hat. It'd probably look good in grey, black and white as well. It's the first time I've used this stamp set, so I've not quite experimented with it yet. And then I just went over this skull just to make it stand out a bit more, because it looked really bland compared to the other one, this image here without the glitter on. Oh, and I forgot, I just used one of my pro markers just for the candy cane. You don't have to because it's red anyway, but just went over the candy cane with it like that. So that's how I did the stamped images, and then I had to fussy cut this one out. And then this one I just used one of my circle dies and I've mounted it onto some black glitter card. And the black glitter card I use is this one, which I get from the range, and it is priced at £1.99 for 10 sheets, and it's just lovely. I go through quite a lot of this. I like to mount a lot of my stuff onto it. So that's how I did the images. I don't want to go through everything exactly because it took me to go through all my stuff and to cut stuff out. It took me a very long time, at least an hour, and I think most of you already know how to do a lot of what I've done anyway. So what I did next was on the inside of my card, I've got a card here, I used a handprint stencil which I got off Temu. I thought it was really fun. So again, I've just used the same ink pad and just inked some of the handprints. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a Halloweeny type effect. So just wherever you want to put the handprints, and you can just make them as bright as you want. So I'll just put some in the corner there. As you can see, not to everyone's taste, but I just thought it was a bit of fun. I think my brother would like this sort of card because he's into heavy metal music and that. I think he'd rather have this than little cutesy pie stuff for Christmas. So as you can see, I've just added the handprints, and then I used the same rubber stamp as on the front. Sorry, it's here. I used the same rubber stamp just to print the sentiment, and it had some bony fingers on, so I just added that. And then I'll just put this card together. So what I've used for the backgrounds on both of them, I have lots of Halloween paper, but I didn't really have anything suitable, so I've actually used a colouring book that I bought really cheaply, again in the range. It was something like £3.99, Nightmare Before Christmas. So as you can see, it's really fun to use as backing paper. So I chose a couple of the sheets, and this one I just kept it black and white because most of it's just black and white. This was black and white, and I just went around the edge with the blending brush and the same ink again, just to add a bit of effect to it. So what did I do next? So before I put it together, the next thing I did was on the image, on the embossed piece of card, I don't know if you can see it, I used my Wink of Stella pen and I just tapped it like this to get a splat effect. I'll do it on this one. It just gives it a really nice splodgy, nice colourful splodges. I don't think you can see it on the camera. Probably needs a bit of a squeeze. If you can't do it that way, You can always put some on an acrylic block and just do it. I'll just give it a little squeeze. There we go. As you can see, absolutely love these Wink of Stella. So you can see the sparkle now. And then there's also some red. And what I did was I've used this little watercolour palette that I got from TK Maxx. I think I paid about £3.99 for it. And I've just put some water in the red one and the grey, whichever colours you think is suitable. And then it comes with a paintbrush, but I used one of my own paintbrushes. And again, just swirl it around, and it gives it a really nice effect on the paper. Looks a bit gory, but that's the effect we're going for. And then you can wipe that off, which I don't have any kitchen roll with me at the minute, and just add a bit of a grey or black or whatever you like. As you can see, it gives it a really nice effect. So I just put them to side, they just dry naturally. So this is the background. Fun, sparkly and a bit gory looking, so I'll just put that to one side to dry. And then this is literally all the bits of the card that I have. So I have used this spiderweb die by La La Land Crafts. I can't link anything to it because I would never ever have paid that much for it. I got it in a bundle off Facebook Marketplace, and I think I paid about £10 for quite a lot of different dies. So it came amongst those. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. If you look online, you might be able to find something similar. I know places like Crafters Companion and that they have Halloween collections, so if I'd have thought ahead, I would have prepared this like I do for most of my other videos. I usually prepare all the tape and that because it's a bit early in the morning and I'm a bit disorganised, unfortunately. It's just winging it. My natural waking time has become 3:30 in the morning. It was 4 o'clock, but for the past week it's been 3:30. I was in a magical deep sleep this morning and my eyes just pinged open and I was wide awake, and no matter how hard I try, I just can't get back to sleep. So the days are very long and then I usually fall asleep quite early at night. But that's just the routine that I've become used to. So as I've explained before in my other videos, the reason I use tape and glue, let's see, let's try it again, is because over time the tape tends to lose its stickiness. But if you put too much glue on the backgrounds, it can bobble and warp the paper. So I just like to use a combination of both, so it's really secure, especially if people like to keep their cards. Some people do, some people aren't very sentimental, but there we go, it's secure if they need it. Sorry, I really need to get a better camera set up. I'm useless with technology, so I apologise if my videos are a bit rubbish. But let's just put the first layer on, and then black glitter card again. So I'll just put the tape on that. I've my own technique that I've come up with to measure some of my backgrounds. I've been making cards for 20+ years, but when it comes to using the cutters and the measurements on them, I just can't figure it out. My brain doesn't work that way. So I've come up with my own little method of doing it, which I'll show you quickly in a minute. It's not brilliant, but it works for me. So just put this background on. I'm trying to make my videos a lot shorter, but they still end up being forever, because I know some people don't like really long videos, and some of the techniques and things people already know because they've been making cards for years. So just stick this on, and if you can see what I'm doing, so that's the next layer. I'm not sure if it's entirely straight, but it doesn't really matter. So for this next layer, I've just got the spider web, and what I do, which I shouldn't really do, is I just put some glue on the back of my hand just for quickness, like that. Luckily these glue bottles are really soft and it's easy to do, so just like this. I know we all have our own ways of doing things, but I just find that really easy. So just layer the spider web across. I don't usually like to cut things with scissors when they're wet, but I'll have to on this occasion. So just trim the edges off. And then again, just layer it up. I don't know if anybody else has got people in their family that would like something like this, especially with it having Nightmare Before Christmas paper and that on. Oh, so fun. But it's just something a bit different and a bit fun. Like I say, I know it's not to everyone's taste, but there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun, mixing things up a bit, doing different things. Like I say, do yourself, do what you want to do, make your stuff stand out from everybody else's. I don't sell my things, like the stuff I make, mine's just for personal use, but if you sell your stuff at craft fairs and that, it's good to make your stuff look different from other people's, and it'll draw people over to you more, especially if people see unusual things like spooky Christmas cards, which is not really a big thing, but it's something that will draw people to you because it's something different. So again, just add the glue, which does not want to play because I think it's nearly empty. I find the glue's really frustrating if you don't store them upside down and you keep having to wait for the glue to go back up the other way. I think, oh, it's really frustrating because I'm forgetful and I forget to keep it stored upside down. So we're just going to add this layer on. It's just really fun, as you can see. And then you can put the other sentiments wherever you like. I'm just going to put this one in the middle. I have an absolutely huge collection of Halloween stuff because Halloween has always been my thing. And when I saw these rubber stamps, I just thought they were so fun. But you could probably make, if you like spooky Halloweeny stuff, you could probably go use it and adapt it for Christmas very easily. Just to colour it in Christmassy colours or add Christmas papers. I'm just going to have to do it this way because it's not playing. There we go. So just going to stick that there, which what I had to do with my other card that I made. I had to set a block on top of it to start with. I'm just going to put glue on this one because I had some glue on my finger. It should be alright if I spread it out thinly. Just use your finger to spread it because it helps it stop the bobbling. But with it just having glue on, I will have to set the acrylic block on it because it needs the weight to keep it flat. As you can see, it's really fun. And then the next thing I did was I had a look through my Halloween stash and I found some spiders. This one's slightly different to the one on the other card, and I just cut some out with my black glitter card. again, this is just a technique I like to do, and some people, I'd advise them to do a little patch test first to make sure they're not allergic to the glue, but because my glue's not playing, I'm going to have to do it like this for now, and I'm going to have fun picking it all off in a bit because it's all over the place. So just add the glue and just put the spiders wherever you like. Sorry to anyone that's got a spider phobia. While I was cutting all the bits out last night, I had a lovely big black spider come to join me, like it wanted to, like, yeah, they're cutting out some little friends for me. I come and join the party, and I had to get my husband to come and get it because I can't reach my arms. It was really funny. It just literally, the timing was just hilarious. I'm not scared of them, but I just thought it was funny at the timing. It just sort of come out to play right when I was cutting the spiders out. So there we go. And you can keep it flat if you're going to post it like that, or you can add some black gems or whatever you like just to bring it up a bit. But I think that's really fun. I'm really different, I'm really unusual. So that's both the cards, and I hope I've explained it quite okay to you how I made it. So I'll just quickly show you my technique. I've got an old bit of card here, so I'll just get my cutter. Well, what I basically do is I've just got a blank bit of card here, so if I wanted to cut out mats and layers, I just literally, it's really hard to see on here. I'll see if I can get something. What have I got handy? So say I wanted to cut a layer out with this, I just literally put it up to the edge wherever I want it to go, and then I'll get a pencil and I'll just draw a little line there, and if it was all the way there, I'd just draw a little line in that corner, and then those are my cutting lines. And that's what I have to do because I am absolutely rubbish with the trimmers and the measurements and everything, but that works for me. And as you can see, it's worked fine on these. So if you're like me and you love to craft but you're not very good with some of the techniques, then just find what works for you. I'm sorry it's turned into a long video. If I'd have done everything from scratch, it would have been twice as long. And I hope I've given you a bit of inspiration to do something a bit different. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.